Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Wednesday, August the 14th, 2024. There's not a lot to be adding to any evidence of clearing the confusion within these moves. None of that's happened. In fact, there was a lot of kind of craziness a little bit this morning, which I believe I kind of have fit in, but in terms of the overall picture, we remain within a minor fourth wave down to correction. And so far I've done minute wave A, we're in minute wave B, and we're in the C wave of minute wave B, which is continuing to somewhat extend. And so for today, I'm just going to come down to the 15-minute chart because there's nothing really in here that I need to kind of reinforce or to look at. It's really this one that I'm now focused on. And one thing, so I'm going to drop it right down to the 15 so we can get a good look inside here. And the first thing is, it's like it really started off great. Nice, clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice, clean 5. And then even that was okay. Then we got this. And to be a part of the third, you're like, what? That's so bizarre. Now, I'm kind of still counting this up, and I'm putting the 3 here, which would have been early, the high within Globex. And then it was followed by our opening and a quick slide lower, and CPI kind of like, nobody really cared. They kind of went down, and then soared up, which produced some exquisite trades if you were really quick and you read those candles correctly. And then it kind of just came down for the first hour of trade. Then we raced up to the high. Now, there's one way that I could actually take this, but I want to break it down to the 5-minute because unfortunately, sometimes this is what you got to do to get to take a look inside what all of this really does. So at best, you kind of can go maybe A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason being, you can't just go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, and then this deep, and then nothing. So you can see that it's an ABC. So I'm like, okay, so I put the 3 there. This, it's 3 down. So kind of think, well, that could be all of 4. Could this be all of 5? Well, I went down to the 5-minute, and I'm kind of like, well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's a little short to be 5. Even if I'm looking at this, because it started off great, we pulled back, and then it perked again, and then it perked last, and then it got rejected. So I am leaving this as a 3, which would suggest the following, that it's a 3A, irregular B, and now we're in a C wave, but that C wave, look what it did. It started out great, started to come off, and then it got caught up. Got caught up in some earnings and some whatever else. So I got to back it up again. And now I'm looking at it going like, well, maybe it's the 3 is going to end up here. And this is an A and this is a B, or this is a 4. So one way or the other, I've got a couple of ways. The 3's here, the 4's there, and this is 1 of 5. And then this could be 2 of 5. And then what this is, yet here we are being presented with a pretty bizarre little outcome here. It's like, well, what do we make of that? And right now, it does appear that the market is being at least going to open unchanged, maybe slightly higher. And if it was, again, if this is 3 and this is A of 4, and this is B of 4, see, gets all kind of junky in there. And so we have to leave both sides open. So in other words, if the market breaks above 54.88, we basically are not going to be going in this direction anytime soon under my feeling. Then that leaves this as 1, this is 2, and for whatever, this is 1 of 3. No, this is how bizarre this, and it, let me tell you, this is how bizarre it keeps getting. But at the same time, it keeps it under the context of that this is corrective. This is not impulsive. As much as that was, if you were trading it, it was like impulse. It just went pretty much nonstop. Just kind of went from about 10:30 Eastern till I guess we got almost to noon. So, but it was a very steady run straight up. Again, going to get out of the 5-minute, go back to the 15-minute, and then actually hopefully end out. So I've run some fibs. So that's a 15. I actually need to go to the hourly so I can pull in all of my fibs. So here we are starting to count the C wave up. Whether that's 3 and that's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can get up, set the 3, remember 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Now that's on the hourly, that's kind of how I'm leaning. And you saw how I broke it all down. Can't leave it off that first we come back down, we get below 54.57, but above 54.38, and finish maybe a small correction for a wave 2. Otherwise, it's just we're off to the races. It's going to have to be 1, 2, and we're in this building third, which is pretty junky to begin with. So again, but so did it start that way. So, patterns repeat. In any case, if we're running the fibs accordingly, and we are in this 5th wave to complete the minuet C wave and in turn the minute B wave, then this will all be great. And this is where these all apply. These for certain apply. Now we know that one no longer is effective. So I will going to remove it because it's just there as support, So what we have left to the upside, which I think will be broken, and this would be for the minute B wave, we have 54.91. So 5,500 is looking pretty good that it's going to get tested or broken. And we're going to get up further inside of the 5,500 handle, as they say. So we have 0.618. Again, this has to deal with the sub minuet wave 5. Will be 0.618 of the first wave. Again, another beauty, right? Perfect, nice, clean 5. That is at 55.56. Above it, we have the C wave, 1.618 times the A wave at 55.73.74, right in there. And then above that, we have 100% for the 5th wave at 56.29. Now we can do that and still hold to a B wave. Where it would break, of course, and because it's 3, but it was a zigzag versus a flat ABC, where you would get that irregular B wave often. And this was not. So I would not be expecting it to really come above this high, which is just below 5,600. If it does, then of course we got to back it up and we got to say ABC, and this is minor 4, and we're chugging along. And as someone did suggest, and I said, yep, that is an alternate, and now I'm going to show it. Where this is marked as A, there are 2 places where diagonal can start a move. One is an A wave, the other is a first wave. So if I'm saying this is wave 1 of minor wave 5, this is wave 2 of minor wave 5, we're inside of 3 of minor wave 5, and you would definitely looking for this to go up and likely start to head towards that high, which again is 57.21. So that is possible. Because remember, I've been talking all along that what I'm looking for is a minor wave 4 correction. That's what we're in. Still could be well underway, or it could be done. I've always told you it's the alternate. What prevents it is that we look at just how fast this happened as compared to others. So we look at the time factor. The way we're working it now, it has pushed that time factor out quite a bit. And maybe it needs a little bit more because we're still looking for that B wave to finish and the C wave down before we start to head up in that minor fifth. Now, alternate would be 1, 2, we're inside the 3rd, the 4, and the 5, and we're going to end up above 57.21. Now, I haven't run any fibs on that part yet because I'd need to go back out and put the minor 1 to this, which is not going to work because minor 3 was gigantic and minor 1 was not. So there are going to be other means to which we will find where our resistance for minor wave 5 will come in. But leave it to safe to say that this high would be broken. And we're likely going to work our way to 5,800, maybe even up closer to 6,000. So again, that's another reason why I'm saying we have to have everything together to give it that final push, and then something, to kind of come in at that other time and then throw us into another correction in the form of an intermediate fourth wave, which is going to be bigger than this one. So either way, right now, I'm not shifting to that preferred. I'm only discussing it right now. And I know sometimes it's very difficult because if you're more of a position trader, it's like, well, how am I supposed to position to that? It's like, well, if you're a position trader, you're going to likely look at it that the outcome is that it should continue to go up. So maybe you're already in long positions in some stocks or some options or something. And so that would come into play there. And all you're really balancing it against is the immediate need, to the possibility that we might drop down closer to 5,000, maybe even break it before we retake that level and head up higher. And so, but as a position, it's very difficult. As even a swing trader, there are trades to be had, but it can be a little more difficult because it's very disjointed and you have to be there and you got to get it because they move really fast. And then as a day trader, there's plenty. And you can get caught on both sides. It is so easy to get caught in the chop, and then you're suddenly realizing, why am I being bounced around here? And then you just take a step back and realize, oh, I'm in chop. Or it's just bouncing between 2 or 3 levels, and it just hangs out and stays there and makes you crazy. That's like, well, if you don't realize it, you're going to churn away a lot of money before you realize, whoops, let me just stand aside. Now, back to here. So, couple of things, the way this all could start. Let me bring it back down to that 15-minute chart. If we get this is still part of a correction, and we are opening up a little bit. So if we swing back down and we do come in and we put a new low, actually it'd have to come in right below there because this is A, B, C, but closer we get, I'm not really looking, this is not 3. This could be 3. So here we are. We can run it down, we can get down below there and then start to rally again. Or it's like 1, 2, and this is like going. And either way, it would fit. But we're not looking for massive drops either way either. Now, case in point, should that occur, it puts a lot of heaviness right here. And this one also, I am like, I don't know. That would be the quickest, the shortest little 5 within these sequences that I've seen. And so that's why I'm mentioning it. I'm not saying anything else. So I do believe we still have more upside, and they're not done with this vol trade. I mean, it's kind of insane because they're just piling back in. Anyway, moving averages are supportive of continued upside there. So 20 heading higher, that's on the 15-minute. Let me pull it back out to the hourly. We have the 50 head come back across the 200. So we're in alignment to go up. And that is, I believe, adding to continuing to put on the risk on trade. So because the risk gets less and less, they'll just keep pushing it higher. So therefore, we'll just keep putting that trade on and collecting it in the volatility. Watch the volatility go down via the VIX, and we'll push up the vol because that's where we're going to be buying it in the underlying. Good trade if it all works out, but it can change real quick. All right, so these are still kind of pointing, and a quick turn will begin to attack the 20, which is now really close. So it won't be much before the 20 will go, oops, that's enough, and they'll start to turn and end up breaking the 50. Because you see the tightness that we start to get between the moving averages, there's no real space, and that's on the hourly. And on the daily, it's kind of looking still the same in that we've had now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green bars, but that got a little short. So that was the big one, which I think kind of followed through here, maybe a little bit more. Totally, it could come in a little bit higher before all is said and done. And then we'd be looking for something to create a turn. And it could be August expiration, which is Friday, for all I know. All right, over in the NASDAQ, excuse me. NASDAQ is actually pretty much the same. Let me start with moving averages so that since I'm right here, not as in the daily, not as buoyant as they are over on the S&P, but I'll drop down to the hourly as well. The 200 is still flat. So that's going to continue to provide support should this thing turn and start to come down. So we have support via the 200 at 18,412. Right now it seems so far away, but we were just there on the 9th. So same deal. And turning, right? So it took them a while to kind of get themselves into position to start to turn and follow. I'm going to drop down to the hourly, show that we are in the same, and that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the A, B, C for the minute wave A of minor wave 4. Then we have the A, the B, and we're inside the C wave. And I've left this label because this is that nice clean 5. And I was hoping that maybe that was all we're going to get. And then they started to get sloppy, choppy, and everything else. So again, what was this? This? And then we get choppy again. So I put the 3 here, same type of a deal. We went down, we went further down, but they rallied intensely into this market off of that low from this morning. And then basically ran it all the way to the high, but it went quickly. And it basically was just a couple of the max 7s, and it just kind of then spread and it just kind of went. So it's been a little interesting. So the 3, and then I'm going to bring it down to the 15-minute because we want to take a look at all this inside. Again, if I put the 3 here, this is going to be the 4. If I put the 3 here, it's an ABC, it's still the 4. Then we get that. Now I'm going to drop it down to the 5 because we want to look at this. We got the same deal, don't we? See? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. It's 3 waves. And then they came flying back down, and now they're kind of going up. And they're trying to determine where do we go from here. Because look what they did. This kind of like A, B, don't know, but then they throw this in. So again, trying to figure this out, it's a mess, but it's still corrective. This is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going down, but it should be 3. And then if 4 is going to be here, right? Because follow me, the sub minuet 3, if this is going to be sub 4, then this has to be 1, and I'm not sure how. All right, so these are so small and they were so fast to try to start calling them things. You know, at least to have the down bar. So I have a lot of problems counting this as 5, and I'm down on a 5-minute chart. So you pull it up, you go like, oh, okay, well, I'll let it go, and maybe that's 1. So 3, 4, 1 of 5, 2 of 5. What's this? 1, 2, 3. I don't know. So here's how I'm leaving it. If this is the 4 and this is the 1, then we need to maybe come down and finish this 2, right? 1A, B, C, which means we come down just below 19,015. Come just a little bit below 19,000, but not below this 18,949. So that's what, and then we start up again. So it would be 1, 2, and then we get up in the third, which should rally just pretty much like that did. Like they're just coming and they're grabbing and they're going and they're taking. Now, I'm not saying when that's going to happen, because here we got Globex just started. We got the Asian markets opening in a couple of hours, and then we got the European markets opening much later, overnight. So both of those get to put their 2 cents in, and we don't know what the rotation was in terms of sending orders from New York over to the next market, which might be Tokyo or Hong Kong, and then onward into Europe, which could be in various cities, most likely London. So again, not knowing any of that, or what could happen overnight, what could drive the market in either direction. If we're going to, as a far away alternate, to be honest, but I cannot throw it down the trash bin, a 3, 4, could that be a 5? We got the new high. It zipped up there. And could it be? Yes, it could. But then this means this cannot do anything but just start to really continue to go down. And it's appearing that it doesn't want to. So again, Cisco. It actually was Cisco's earnings that I was looking at, and when suddenly we just, after hours, we just got this absolute mad run up, and I looked and saw that it was Cisco beat, but really not by that much. But I guess they just really liked that it's Cisco beat, and bam, and that just really kind of tossed a lot of things. So regardless, what do I think? I think either way. Again, position trader, I do feel your pain, but it depends on the direction that you were looking or you are sitting and waiting for that top. So again, if you're trying to still looking for some downside, the deal is it's like minor 4, I still think can come down and put in a new low below that 17,351 that we've already seen. Not that it'd be by much, but I'm thinking, we could drop down just a little bit sub 17,000. These are just all scenarios. I'm not saying that's what the market is going to do, but that would fit perfectly. We still have, as same as I went over in the S&P, that's the same deal here, that this all could be done. And that could be minor 4, and we're now starting, and that could be wave 1, this could be 2, and we're building in the third. Beautiful, not so nice for the inside the third, but it could be subdividing even more, and we end up here and we keep going. All right. So if I had to put the 4 there, which I will do, then what are we looking at? We're going to go from there to there to there. Thank you. And so we have 0.618, again, not the first choice. It's usually 5 will equal 1. Well, where's that? 19,835. Still a possibility, not breaking anything within this 4th wave, just a little bit more extended B wave. That all works, it's fine. Not expecting this B wave to be outside of, as if this were a flat. So in other words, being an irregular or getting back up towards the high, which is 21,000, nearly 20,983. So I'm not looking for that. But here we have 20,396. So I cannot say that's not the area, but I wouldn't be looking for it to get too much far above this B wave, and that's all within this cycle here. So we have, this one hasn't been taken out. So we have 19, yeah, actually it has. These 2 are now taken out. So I am going to remove them because they've been exceeded. And so what we have left in terms of the B wave resistance, 19,600. What we have in front of that, 19,487, 618, not the most common. Most common is 19,835. Well, guess what? Now we have 19,600 to 19,835, and this is all 618 for the minute B, 1.618 for the minuet C, and 19,834 for the minuet wave C of the minute wave B. So we've got all that here, here, here. This one, only if we get the 5 and it just really kind of fails from there. So we know that other levels have been met in terms of for the B wave itself, and that definitely would fit for the C wave. And then again for the minute. So as long as things are met, like we can count 5 waves up within wave C. Right now, I only got 3, but that could be 4, and we could be in the 5. A lot of things. But then again, I'd be looking for it once it's done to actually reject the level and start to drop. That's one of the signs that I do look for. All right, so again, moving averages on the hourly, what are they looking like? Not too bad. You kind of have the 200 kind of starting to pay attention, starting to go up a little bit. The 50 did cross, and that would have been yesterday. 50 crossed the 200 going up, and here we are just with intertwined inside of it, because it's been moving around a little bit too much, is the 20 and the 13. 20 still angling higher. So they're both kind of all of them now, at least on the hourly chart, are in alignment for the market to continue to go up. Not magnanimously strong, but in alignment to do so. So again, as we start getting up into these areas, I think that they're starting to show that there is the potential that we're going to go up, but it's not in the strength that we'd like to see. Right? Here we have additional highs for the sequence, new highs for the sequence, 1, 2, 3, and lower highs in the RSI, right at that same place. So that's starting to diverge a little bit. So I'm thinking we're getting close to when we're going to get the next turn. And again, we have that Friday expiration, which is a monthly expiration, and that's building itself up. So we'll see what can happen there. All right, that is going to be it. Now tomorrow, let me just take a quick look. And let's see, on Thursday, initial jobless claims, Empire State Manufacturing, Philly Fed Manufacturing, U.S. retail sales, import price, and industrial production capacity utilization, and business inventories. Well, it's actually kind of a busy day. So with a couple of Fed people out there talking. So our next update will be on Thursday, August the 15th.